All right. I'm here with Izzet Phoenix, while also being kind of a torrential Gear Hulk magma opus abomination. Thought it would be kind of neat to try to have an Izzet Phoenix card strategy thing inside of a tempo removal control kind of thing. Not too many hard counters. I initially had like Sinister Sabotage and Ionize in here, but I think just running slightly cheaper spells just plays a little bit better with Arclight Phoenixes and stuff. So that's what we're doing. Obviously, we have the 8 1-minute cantrips to really make sure we can get these out of the graveyard and stuff like that. Ways to put them in the graveyard is a charm, Prismari Command, Divide by Zero. And yeah, it seems decent enough, pretty straightforward. Oh, right, Blitz of the Thunder Raptor is kind of weird, but I like it. It's doing what I want to be doing, which is just killing stuff. So hopefully this does something pretty neat. It's pretty easy for this to kill kind of anything, so I'm going to try that. It's like a fast version of Beacon Bolt. It also exiles, so if I hit something like Tenacious Underdog, that Mosswood Knight, those things that are pretty good to exile. So the sideboard is just color hate. You got Rending Volley, Aether Gust, change the equation. I have a Hullbreaker Horror for like the blue-white matchups. Maybe a second one is worth it, but Pithing Needle, pretty universal. Sometimes it's in, sometimes it's not. Who knows? Depends how you feel, depends what you're playing against. Between Rending Volley and Fry, Fry kills Teferi when it pluses. Rending Volley doesn't. So, might even want to go up another Fry instead of Rending Volley, or just Fries altogether, but this is the order I've done now. It's just the numbers I've picked. Mystical Dispute, just more blue matchups, just seems solid. Search for Iskanta for even slower and grindier matchups. This could be in the main deck somewhere. It's not too unreasonable, but as of now, it isn't. I would also like to run... Oh, I do. I'm stupid. Okay. I have 2. I want those in there. I want probably 4 at some point. Surprised I didn't even... Maybe I mistyped it. I must have misspelled it the first time I looked for it, but... I probably want 4 of these. I like this as a win condition. It's just very satisfying, and it can be very challenging for some decks to not die to this. And it's just slow and grindy, and it's where we want to be. Devious Cover Up was another one. This one won't take as long to find. Trust me. Trust everything I'm saying. I really like this card. I have no idea if the format would allow you to play this thing. Probably not. I also don't know how ideal it is to shuffle away like your Magma Opus for your Gear Hulks, but it's cool to shuffle some things back in. Obviously, you don't want to shuffle in your Arclight Phoenix, but I just really like this card. And this might not be the kind of deck for it, but some sort of insane mono counter spell like blue red thing is something there. But I'm not gonna do that right now. And I guess I'll sort the lands post edit to fit these Mirrors in. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let's see how we do. All right, removal spell, looting early ping on like a Menadork if it's green. Okay. What's the worst that could happen? Surely. Alright. Uh, this one? Could have maybe led with the coast? Well, I don't know. I don't think I'll have a problem with mana this game, to be honest. That's kind of unfortunate. They might just take Gear Hulk. The only card that's new is this one. Yeah, there they are reading it. Oh, it's this matchup again. Alright. Am I looking... There's nothing specific I could find casting these right now. Yep. Wait, you had a land first? Oh, and of course it was a Nykthos. Yep. Okay, we can get rid of that. Okay, really need to get rid of these Arclight Phoenixes. I do have a Prismari command, though. Not too difficult, I guess. This deals 4? It'll deal 5 next turn. Alright, well, my opponent's had 1, 2, and then 3, and Nykthos. So far, everything is quite literally perfect. Alright, let's get rid of... Do I kill this Minidork, actually? Like, draw 2, discard 2. I think so? I like that. Can I get these Phoenixes back before I cast this? I don't... Well, as it stands, I can't. They had another one. Oh, boy. Alright, so... Treasure token... Land. It'll give me 2 spells, which isn't enough. And I probably should kill one of these so I don't take 40 bajillion here. So I guess we're just not going to get our Phoenixes back. Let's kill this. And pass. And somehow our make disappear has to work. I don't think Volcanic Spiting Mystic makes any sense. My opponent has literally had everything ever. So, I don't know. We're not going to beat this. It's not going to happen. They've had literally everything. And then there's the sideboard Tormog's Crypt, which I have no answer to. So I lose my Phoenix. And they have another Plukerna. That was literally the best thing. I mean, I can counter this, but next turn we have to Karn. We don't have an answer to the board still. This is probably the best mono green opener I've ever seen. Right? Yeah, that's kind of insane. But it is what it is. I can poke here with the Spite, and then I can well, I can start with this to make a treasure. It doesn't really matter because I'm not getting the Tormod's Crypt, so I'm not getting through that. Kill this. I'm just dead to the board though. Alright, not as much. Still kind of dead to the top of their deck, but surely they won't have any crazy stuff on the top of their deck. Alright, they did do this, right? So now I lose access to killing this, and okay. Does that change anything? Not really. So I can do this. I kind of have to kill the elf to make it so I'm not just like immediately dead. Get rid of you and I guess you? Because I need the Izzet charm. I could have gotten rid of Shivan Reef as well, just because I can't really tap it anymore. 1/1. My opponent also has a 2/2 wolf, actually, that they can just make, which also just straight up kills me. So we're dead in that regard as well. Alright, so they have a lot of 3-mana cards. I don't really like Stroke against that deck. I'm down to 1 Gust. Tailzen has some targets. Alright. I don't think we're gonna get to Gear Hulks. Might even just drop this Gear Hulk thing altogether. Rely on Phoenix, and I can't rely on Magma Opus. Okay. Yep. I don't really want to counter that. Okay, let's play this. Pass. There's Nykthos again. Can't not have it. Alright, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of... I guess Mirix? I mean, doesn't feel right. I mean, Fire Impulse, if they don't have a mana dork, doesn't feel great. Okay. I can answer that, and I will. These spites are looking really alright. So they just got mana screwed and gave up. Maybe they thought I transitioned into some crazy control deck and they just didn't want to deal with it. I don't know. But it is game 3. Alright, I'm just not going to change anything. Okie dokie. So they're on the play this time. I have no answer to Llanowar Elves, but I think this is still probably good enough. On the play, maybe it isn't. Yep, there it is, of course. Let's do that, pass. Yeah, this might not have been fast enough because of Llanowar Elves, which we should have just fully expected, I guess. Sure. Notably, my opponent manually cast. Okay, yeah. Alright, not the worst of the threats that could have happened. I don't think I want another land. I mean, another blue source would be nice, but I need to like, constantly find action and not really care about the lands here. I think I'm going to counter this. Because all preceding threats will replace themselves, and if I can't answer them, I'm screwed. So, like, Blitz answers it, but it doesn't answer it before it would draw a card. Let's leave up... Yeah, I think we have time. We don't have to play Den right now. I'll just leave up Prismari Command. I do not have an answer to this. I can look for one, though it isn't terribly likely. That technically is not one. I mean, it kills one of the Llanowar Elves, which just boosts this Blitz, but I think we're past worrying about those Llanowar Elves. Oh, well, wait, it still doesn't work. Alright. Well, there's 2 Karns. I really need to, like, Blitz this, because it puts back something spooky on the top of their deck, which I can't necessarily deal with. Alright, that wasn't bad. Do I play Den here? I think we're going to play this and just pass. Feels kind of bad because of the stupid tap land, but I think this is what we're doing. Of course, my opponent's last card is insane. I have Stone Cold, no answer to it. And that's probably all she wrote. So let's damage, draw, discard, kill one of these. Get rid of Arclight Phoenix, and who knows what else we draw. I guess the Den, a little past its heyday now. Sure. Obviously no Spell Pierce. My opponent didn't float mana with that Llanowar Elves, which is kind of funny, but I mean, they don't have much incentive to do that. Alright, I have 1 Arclight Phoenix. I can get it this turn, but I cannot kill the Nissa. So consider... Do we need this? I mean, I can't cast it this turn, so let's do that. Let's, Blitz. I have to Blitz this, otherwise I'm kind of just completely screwed. Another Phoenix was very good. I don't know if it's good enough, but it was good. So I get to kill Nissa, and then we're like 1 off from lethal, but the wolf doesn't have haste. I also need them to just not draw anything. Okay, they didn't really have much of a top deck. Sort of have all the mana they need anyways at this point. Is this sorcery only? Create a wolf. Alright, they have to make the wolf right now, which is kind of beneficial for me. Wait, what are they doing here? Alright, they misclicked the ability, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so I'm not dead on board. Let's play Mirix and pass. This is only a sorcery? No, whatever, okay. Haven't actually activated Mirix yet. I am so close to death, though. And my opponent has a lot of really good top decks, to be honest. Alright, so here and here, I literally have to. Okay. Yeah, I think the Llanowar Elves is going to get me here. Well, I have a Hullbreaker Horror, technically, to, like, block it. So, I don't know. Do I wait to cast it? I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. Storm the Festival. I can negate it, but then I am dead. So that doesn't actually work. This is not a Gear Hulk. I can't... I mean, Spell Pierce, excuse me. But I do get to kill this Llanowar Elves, which is, you know, it's something. I can start to bounce stuff, too, with the Izzet Charm. So let's kill this. Bounce this. Wow. That's actually insane. I cannot believe I won that game. The game 2, I guess I mean, their keep wasn't even that bad, right? They just fizzled out. But this game was crazy. Like, I beat a Nissa, and that's actually just absolutely insane. I got... Yeah, alright. It works. It works. Okay, yeah, we're going to take out the Gear Hulk package, because it's nonsense. And we're just going to do counter spells and in Improbable Alliance and or Iconoclast. But I'm going to start with this one. The flesh is weak, says the opponent. I agree. We must sacrifice our flesh. Alright, so at least I have time to not draw blue. Or draw blue. So I don't feel too bad. Oh, did my opponent miss a land? Hold on, what? Ooh, uh-oh. Yeah, this is not... That's not good. Yeah, that's not how you, yeah. They mulliganed to 5, kept the 1-lander, and said surely they'll get there, and they didn't. Unfortunate. They don't even want to play. Oh, no. Oh, no, opponent. Oh. Alright, there's a lot of lands, but we have an Izzet Charm, so it isn't actually a lot of lands. Can't swear in my Twitch chat. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Think of the children. Alright, down to 5. Another 5-lander from an opponent. Unfortunate. Alright, let's do that. Playing red, maybe I will leave. Trust me, it is not that kind of red deck. It is a red deck with no creatures. Or, burn spells. Alright, so this is the unfortunate card. I can Spike Field and do something else, but we're going to lead with this for now, obviously. Get rid of some of this poop. Get rid of you and you. And hopefully we find a Blitz here to exile this at some point. But I do have Spike Field, which does the same thing. Oh, they used Creed. Looks like Creed on the artwork. Nice. I mean, it's obviously not Creed, but that's my inner fantasy. Alright, let's play this tapped. Looks like they have a Fatal Push. Not that it really matters. And hopefully Make Disappear is useful. And if not, I don't see... I'm not too upset with, like, just Volcanic Spiting this. Alright, another main deck... Another main deck Duress opponent, which is absolutely atrocious. Hate to see it. Especially on a Mold of 5. They mulligan to 5 and have Duress in their deck. Mirix was a solid pickup, though. Kind of, sort of. For like 10 years from now. Hives are annoying too. I can't really get Phoenixes going. Mutavault, what? Okay. And more discard, great. Let's get rid of you and you. Well, I mean, what is Make Disappear doing? Excellent. Alright, well, there's cards I can find that are good right now. So I'll cast this right now. Of course, I didn't find any of them. Why would I? This is mono black discard, it seems, and not just like some other kind of mono black deck. But surely their deck doesn't do anything if I don't have any cards. Yeah, exiles a whole graveyard. It's not really that powerful. Not many... Like, your deck has to have Graveyard Matters cards. Sometimes that just isn't relevant. There's quite a few times where it just isn't relevant to exile a graveyard. It's not that big of a deal. I'd rather make 1/1s with Mirrex than swing with Den, because they have a Mutavault. That would just block it, and I'd feel pretty bad. But it's not the worst, especially if they're stuck on 3 lands and they can't use their Hive. Or the mana to do this. There's the obvious Fatal Push I was talking about 10 years ago. Oh no, they don't use it. Look at that. Opponent chooses not to use it. Puts me in shambles. I would love for them to activate Mutavault, though. There we go. Sure, they'll sauce me with the old... I really just need to get this out of my hand. Oh, I messed up. I had to wait till they blocked. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why do I do stuff? Why do I even play Magic? Why? Why did I do that? I can't believe I did that. I cannot believe I did that. That is very bad. That is a horrendously bad mistake. Of course, when there's choices to make, I make the wrong ones. Alright, well. Surely they'll just... They won't do it this time. Oh, they just didn't. Okay. I guess I could have fired up my Den. Huh. I would like for them to just blitz. Surprised they haven't yet, actually. Alright, I probably should get rid of this card so they don't draw, because they'll draw 2 from Waste Not if I don't cast this. So I should. Because it doesn't exile cards from your hand, it just discards, which triggers the Waste Not still. And them drawing 2 is obviously how I just straight up lose. Alright, that wasn't a terrible draw. Not a great one, though. Alright, fine. I mean, if I don't cast it, I don't keep it. And it's definitely better than swinging with the Den. When we know about Fatal Push. So they can trigger Revolt and push this. If they get to 10 poison, they die. That's what that does. And these give 1 poison per hit. 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can put them to 1. Okay. Sure. There's not really anything they can do to survive now. They need too many cards to stop the 5 attackers. Or 6 attackers, because Den is another attacker, so this should just be GG. Unless they have like a weird sweeper, that would blow my mind, but they do not. Alright, so the Phoenix don't look good when they have main deck Graveyard Hate, and thus by extension probably sideboard Graveyard Hate. Brothers, and actually most of my sideboard doesn't feel too exciting at all, to be honest. Does anything feel great? What is Pithing Needle? What can that do? It can stop the hives. It has to be better than, like, something here. Just, what is that something? Fiery Impulse is a little weak when I don't have cards in my graveyard to, like, make it do 3 damage. Maybe just drop an Izzet Charm. It's hard to... Yeah, let's do that. Alright, there's not much of a sideboard I have. Like, Negate or something? I don't... Like, my hand is going to be empty really fast. It's mono black discard. Alright, I think this is a pretty good hand, because if they do have a bunch of discard spells, it's nice to, like, hide my cards under cantrips. It's actually, like, really nice to do that. Like, this hand is totally, like, who cares, right? You just duress and it just doesn't really matter. They take Opt. They should have taken Consider, because it can mill a Phoenix instead, but they just chose the unique one, I guess. Don't know. I'd rather not see a Waste Not right now, although that is also very annoying. Okay, I don't want that. Yeah, they should have taken Considers. Well, this is a big reason why you would want to take Consider. Because now I can just instantly do this, right? Yeah. If I had to, like, mill over spells to do that. I would really like to get this in play naming... Nice! Nice! Alright, so I think my opponent came to the conclusion that I just have pretty good answers to what they're doing. Like, my opponent knows about these things, right? They have 4 cards. This game isn't just over, but I have very solid answers to what is probably a threat light deck. They just try to discard spam. But if I just play as though my hand isn't relevant, it's not a big deal if they discard spam, I'm just in a good spot, right? Especially if I ever find a Phoenix they can't answer, which we didn't have, but, you know, it could be down the pipeline for sure. Shoot, I haven't played WoW outside of Raid in like 3 months. I haven't done a Mythic Plus in weeks. I did the Mega Dungeon, I guess. I did it once. No, I did it twice. Once they put the Mythic version out, I did that one. And I got that fancy mount out of it. You play chess? Really? Really? I used to play Loom. That's probably why I stopped going to raids, because I kept beating him in chess during raid breaks. Oh, rip. Alright, so we took out the Gear Hulk Magma Opus thing, and then we took out the Arclight Phoenix thing for a more traditional, like, Planeswalker win condition style thing. It just feels better, especially when I'm not doing an all-in Arclight Phoenix strategy. I also took out the 1 copy of the Allegiance just for more of these. And let's see how this works. I feel good about these. Alright, so we took out some even more stuff, added a main deck needle. It feels really solid. Basically every deck has something you want to needle, honestly. Like, mono green has plenty, black red has plenty, mono black has plenty. Like, Pithing Needle always kind of does something. And a Chandra, because I really like this card. It is a sweeper. It's good main deck against blue-white, so... Or I should say it's solid. It's not, like, great or anything, but I like it enough. And the last Censor, because why not? It's a cantrip. It's probably better than Opt, right? Just replace Opts with Censors, so that just makes sense to me. And, yeah, let's try that. Oh, I need to add a sideboard card. Maybe just another... Oof. Another Brother's Hood end? I don't know. We'll think about it. Let's get back to the games. Okay, sure. That's a quick mulligan, so maybe a combo deck. Who knows? Feels fast. Mono blue, maybe? Oh, something castable there. Something certainly castable. Let's hope it's not a token or a creature and it's just like a cantrip. I did not want to see that. Did not want to see that there. Might have to cycle this Censor, so I'm not going to use it. Okay, Mutavolt's also kind of annoying. It's not like the most annoying thing, but kind of annoying. Whoa, they didn't have anything. Whoa. First of all, this person's name is Raquel. It's obviously a girl. And second of all, this is the best card back because it's like a tattered card. How do you not like that? I wonder if they have a land here. We both missed our land. That's funny. Hopefully I don't continue to miss my land. Alright, so do I shock myself? Well, if they missed their land, I don't think I have to. I'm just not going to. Punish is impossible, right? Literally no punish. See? No punish. Yeah, we'll take that. So this is a spot where I actually get to resolve a Chandra against Mono Blue Tempo, which is literally impossible. And I think I'm going to name Mutavault here with this, because it's not terribly useful outside of that. Just stops that attacker, which is solid. I did name Mutavault correctly, right? Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. I mean, if you're going to Brazen Bower or something, you're not going to Bower the Pithing Needle. Doesn't make any sense. Or Petty Theft. Is it? I think it's called Petty Theft. Going to discard. Spicy. Alright. Guess I just blind poke him with the +1 here. Saw some randomly with a card off the top of my deck. Land again? Alright, sure. Yep. So I can attack a whole bunch of stuff here. It's weird that they tried to Mutavault, but then... Okay, that makes sense. They're going to be upset they didn't do that on their own turn, though. Especially when they're missing lands. I don't know if they... Oh, they have white? They have white. Okay. I mean, I have something to kill this on board with, so... This isn't even that good for them. But I'm going to just race to the ultimate. I can also utilize the red mana here, which is pretty nice. Alright. This looks like a pretty definitive win, if I do say so myself. I am not going to Myric's token. I'm just going to untap and ultimate and kill them with 4 spells. I could have shocked myself to leave up a second spell. Hardly feels relevant. Okay. Alright, you can flash in a creature. You knock yourself out. This is not going to be enough to kill me anyways. They do not have one? Really? What? I mean, there's no way they don't just snap it off if they have one, right? Seems weird. Okay, I don't know what their hand... They didn't have lands early in the game, so I don't really know what's going on. It's unusual. But, I mean, this game is... Yeah, this game is completely over. My opponent should have scooped the moment I ultimate it. They gave me more information by not scooping, but it's not, like, terribly useful information. Okay, so Rending Volley and Fry actually come in for once. That's pretty cool. We can take out probably Jace, a little slow. Kind of expensive. Pithy Needle's not... Naming Mutavault is not why we would keep that in. Do we want Hullbreak Horror over, like, Chandra? No, I think Chandra's slightly better. All their stuff sort of flies. Can take out some of these 3-mana counter spells for cheaper ones, like Essence Scatter, Mystical Dispute, Change the Equation. I don't think I want Negate. And I am kind of on one Jace, but nah. So we have a huge benefit over being white here. Like, yep. I mean, this is kind of an example as to why we're glad we're not white. Another mulligan. Spicy. Okay, we're going to play this land because we don't want to make choices. Choices are bad. We don't make choices here. Alright. So, blue. I don't want to see a 1-drop, but... Okay, that's good. There is almost a downside to playing their stuff at sorcery speed. It's actually kind of funny. Look at target player's hand, exile a non-land card for as long as it costs 2 more. Alright, so they get rid of a card in hand, but I can cast it still. Oh man, that was a really good card, especially for something that they just didn't see. That was a really good thing to just have right now. Very good. I will mindlessly throw stuff at that. Alright, looks like they have a curiosity effect, and then, like, realize there's no reason to put it on there right now. Doesn't make any sense. You have no answer? What? They have no answer to this? Wow, that's crazy. That's actually insane to me. They had no answer to protect their spirit. That's wild. Shriekgeist. Okay, let's fight with this. No spell pierce. Good information to know. Could have even just cast Blitz on it. Okay, I'm going to play the land my opponent knows about. I probably should just do red because, well, this. Okay. It's Mirixin time. One of the poisonous creatures of all time, right? It's one of the tokens of all time. I don't think any of the flash creatures have 2 toughness, so I cannot be convinced to consider anything. Let's see what this finds. I kind of like this. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so this is where we just throw out a Blitz. Because I fully expect counterspells and stuff. It's not like I'm losing access to Fry or something, right? Like, they know about this fight still. I think I'm actually going to get rid of Iskanta at this point. Opponent's down to 2 cards, and I'd rather just turn the Iskanta into a value card makes more sense anyways in the long run. Okay, so there goes our poison prospects until I kill this, but this is... specifically can't do that. It's not like they can activate it, though. To swing, obviously. That's what I meant. And I can technically make an army of poison tokens. Okay, so it looks like they're just going to put a curiosity effect on this to cycle it. Or they're just swinging, which I don't agree with at all. Oh, wait, I forgot about this. I forgot about this card. Okay, so there is total merit in this attack. Belay my last. Forget I said literally any words ever. It does mean I saw some with some damage here, but getting this invasion of Gaburgabur is not too bad, right? Hexproof and indestructible layer for your creatures and stuff. Although, we don't really care about it. Opponent doesn't know we don't care about it. We got all the red spells out of the way, and now we just got the blue spells. So this invasion isn't looking great, really at all. I'm going to shift enter and put a stop here. Just not to sit through all this casting nonsense. Alright, they made Mutavault a 3/3. Adorable. They are almost just dead to Infect, though. They've allowed this to happen. I don't believe I should go for anything. My opponent has shown me no creatures, so probably interaction of their own, which means Chandra will just get countered. We don't want that. But this Mutavault would have done so much more as actually blocking. Like, by a lot. Okay. I'm not going to counter that. I'm just not going to counter that. I feel like I'll get into trouble trying to do that. No, I just don't think it's realistic. My opponent is at 9. They can't really swing with this unless they have another blocker. But they've decided to swing with it. Very unusual. Must have some... Wait a minute. Deckenstone is also just unusual, isn't it? This is weird. That card is just weird. That is unusual. Alright. Well, I mean, you have to have something here. You can't not have nothing. Rattle chains. Alright, as much as I'd love to play with my food and not counter this, I'm just going to counter it. Yeah. I almost wanted to let it resolve and just let this game continue out because I'm having a blast. This matchup is like the worst matchup ever if you're blue-white. But if you're blue-red, it is like the best matchup. Okay, so we are vastly different from where we started, which is kind of what I expected, to be honest. And where we started was like, I mean, it spoke for itself. But as it ended, I did really like this. The Chandras are just great. I really like Chandra. It definitely should have been in like the first iteration of this, but once I figured that out, I really like this card. Blitz is just good. This answers literally everything, and I love it. It answers Shieldred. It answers the backside of the 4/4 Troll for mono green. I mean, it kills basically any creature. It's very easy for it to, at least. And it kills all the Planeswalkers. It kills Teferis. It kills Karns. Although it kind of kills Karns a little too late. But it still kills them. Liliana. It exiles Kroxa. This is just... This card, I'm surprised I've never seen anyone play it. Now, you do have to be red. And you also have to be red in a way that isn't... like blue-red... whatchamacallit, the main one everyone plays. I keep forgetting. Creativity. Indomitable Creativity. Like, that's kind of the only deck that would run this, and I don't know if they have room for it, right? Maybe Arclight Phoenix could make room for it, but it doesn't seem like it wants to. So you're definitely doing something blue-white control-y like this if you're going to run it. So the spot where it would be, I guess, makes sense why you don't see it, because that spot just doesn't exist. But here I am doing it, and here I am getting to showcase what I think is a very good card. It wound up being probably the best card. Definitely the best red removal spell, that's for sure. At least on 2 mana. We don't have Lightning Bolt or something, and I found Volcanic Spike to be a little bit more reliable than Fiery Impulse, even though it costs twice as much. Spikefield Hazard is good. It does exile, like, the 3/2 Blitz card pretty reliably if you couple it with something else, namely this. In this iteration, it's actually the only other card in my deck that would let it exile it alongside of it, so there's that. Basically every deck has something you can Essence Scatter. Even blue-white runs like a Dream Trawler sometimes, or I guess a few amount of the times. There's like 1 or 2 Dream Trawlers, and sometimes a Gear Hulk. So Essence Scatter isn't totally dead there, but every other matchup ever, there's something to Essence Scatter. So, I mean, why not, right? Den was never activated and it felt good. Like, I think it was once it felt good to do that, so I don't really like this. I think if I had the rare wild card, I would definitely... Get out of the way. I would definitely take at least one of these out and put in another Mirrex. I just feel much better with Mirrex, right? Like, you're never really gonna find yourself tapping out to... Like, when are you doing that? Your whole deck is instant speed doing stuff. You're only tapping out for, like, these, right? These 6 cards here, you're not tapping out for any other thing. You're just leaving it all up at instant speed, so... You just want more Mirrex, and I probably just want 4. It is colorless, but... Blue-white runs Field of Ruins, all right? So, I mean, it's impossible to do that. The color situation wasn't really a big deal. That was not a problem. Didn't struggle with that. The Otawara is so situational that, like, dare I say, you might just want it to be an island, or a Sulphur Falls, just so Sulphur Falls comes in untapped, or just have dual-colored lands. This is just cute. It's like super specific hyper value what if scenario. Everyone runs one for the sake of it, but I do think there is a consideration to not doing that. Especially if you get Field of Ruins and maybe you already have all your basics. You just want like another basic. Because again, it's so rare that you actually bounce something. Namely, like bouncing to Fairy is the thing that comes to mind. It's probably already plussed though. You're going down a card to bounce it to hand. You didn't actually answer it forever. But it is an uncounterable way to get it off the board. So you can go ahead and untap and like have counter spells. But if your opponent resolves something that you really needed to answer and you can't answer it outside of the Manland or Otawara, you're probably screwed anyways, right? So I think this should be an island or a Sulphur Falls, to be completely honest. Or Shivan Reef or something. The Brotherhood End never came in, So I don't know. I don't know. There's not a lot of go wide strategies. So I don't know. Like blue white does play Farewell and Doomscar. Had to think about it. So there's room for sweepers. We could run like the weird 5-mana sweepers that deal 5 to everything because we are doing something like this, right? It's yeah, but still, I don't know. Like, do we need sweepers when we can just blow up everything my opponent puts into play? Because again, there's not that much go wide strategy stuff in the format. Um, the search is cute in the sideboard. It's debatable. It might even just come into the main at this point because we've slowed down as slow as you could probably get. So it could just come into the main somewhere. Take out like one Essence Scatter or something like that. Maybe the Censor. But as a sideboard, it did have room. There were games where I'd bring it in. I might be slightly over sideboarded for blue-white, especially how the main deck is just pretty good against blue-white as is. But just make that matchup even better. Can't be too upset, especially when they get the early Lotus Fields. You just want to deal with that, right? Mono green is just always a rough matchup. It just is, right? I'm going to say it at the end of all my videos. If I'm going to bring up green, my conclusion is probably your green matchup is bad. If you're playing something that is off meta, your green matchup is bad. So there's not much you can do about that. You can have some hinges, right? You just like change the equation in Aether Gust and clench booty, and that's it. You just cast those and clench. Not much to say. But black red seemed pretty solid. Mono black discard also because we do play off the top pretty well. So I don't hate that matchup. The Fable to the Mirror Breaker is a rough card to see, though. I don't think we want our own. We can utilize the treasure token to get some of these planeswalkers out faster, maybe, like Jason, not Teveria, Chandra, like maybe, but like, do we really want to do that? Like, because we're discarding cards that we're probably fine not getting rid of because we're keeping up counter spells and answers. Like discarding answers to find answers doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So we're just looting away like lands. It's not like we have quote unquote dead cards to loot away that much. We already took out Izzet Charm and stuff, and we do kind of have looting in the form of this card if we really needed it, although this card is also just a solid counterspell, so like, we're looting an answer for an answer, right? It's just weird. So I don't know if we want Fable. And I think at the end of this we would drop a Rending Volley for another Fry, just to have better Teferis, and everything that Rending Volley is good against, Fry is just as good against, and I don't really care that it costs twice as much. I do not think the format is that fast. Like, yeah, there's red-white prowess, but they have red creatures. This doesn't target those. This doesn't even kill Llanowar Elves or Elvish Mystic in the green matchup. So I think Fry is just a bit better. Just that 5 damage, killing Teferi is just another answer. It feels really good. So that's what I think I'd change once I'm done recording here. And yeah, that's about it. I like the whole Breaker Horror. There's some matchups where I might even side this in that aren't just a slow control matchup or the blue-red mirror or something. I think this is just maybe solid as a replacement for the Chandra in the main if you don't have it. I think that's completely reasonable. And something else can come into the sideboard. you could swap them. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Let me know what you thought about the end iteration of this, not the beginning, because it did a whole lot of changes. It is not even close to what it looked like at the beginning, but that's the adventurer. It's like playing Chandelar, if you remember that from the old days. You're changing your deck as you go, having a blast while you're doing it. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.